Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, and dreamers of all ages, welcome to the Disney Countdown Show.
Remain seated, please. Permanecer sentados, por favor.
This is it. This is the moment that y'all have been waiting for. It is the season finale. Woo! I don't know why I made it sound terrifying, like we're on the Haunted Mansion. But
It's kind of like a ghost.
it was like, woo! The ghost noise. Not what I was going for, but it worked. Anyway, yes, Megan, we're here. We're doing the season finale.
We're here. Season 5 this is the last episode, but don't worry. Of course, we're coming back for season 6. We're not leaving you guys for good, but we're so excited to be here for this episode. Oh my gosh.
Y'all, we kept this a secret for the longest time because we wanted to make sure that we were able to get this legendary person to come join us.
Mm-hmm.
But earlier this week, we did have Bob Gurr on the show. Former Imagineer Bob Gurr, one of the last remaining Imagineers hired by Walt. He worked under Walt Disney for 12 years, was part of the opening of Disneyland, which we thought was so fitting with the 70th anniversary happening right now. And we have a great conversation with him, and he's going to be most of this episode because y'all, it was probably best, in full transparency, it was best that he came on first because the man talks a lot.
He does.
He's 94. But he's on it, and he's ready to tell you everything.
It was so, but that's what we love about Bob. It's
right.
like I could listen to that man talk for 24 hours straight about everything, his life, his work, working with Walt. I just love it. You know, he is going to be 94 this year, which is incredible, you guys. And the fact that he is still just so has so much energy. He's so social. He loves talking to people.
Right.
He's fantastic. We're so excited to get to that segment today. Yes, we did record earlier this week. Full transparency, Megan the Magical Millennial was having internet issues because she was visiting a friend who was sick out of town. So I'm so sorry about that, but we'll get to that in a second. And but having Bob on was a dream come true, really, to be able to chat with him about, and especially around the 17th anniversary, and the fact that he was a part of it, the part of an opening day attraction, which was Autopia. So,
and I don't want to spoil it, y'all, because we do get into that also while talking to him. And we're like, hey, where were you on opening day? What were you doing beforehand? And he gets into all of that. So we'll save that for his portion once we get to it. But there are some other things that we gotta make sure we cover, like we do in every other episode. Even though it's the finale, we still gotta cover these other things in the episode.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. I know it is the last episode of season 5, but of course, if you aren't following us already on the socials, we are at Disney Countdown Show on Instagram, TikTok, and Threads. We will have many a clip of our Bob Gurr interview over there if you want to give us a follow. We're coming up on 14K followers on Instagram, so thank you all so much who are over there. And then we also did recently hit 10K on TikTok, which is super exciting. So thank you for following us there, and of course listening to the show. And of course, hi YouTube fam. For those watching us on YouTube, we're youtube.com/countdown network, posting every week. And then of course we have the Magical Millennial, myself, and the Dapper Danielle on the personal socials, where we're posting every single day.
Well, we're trying to post every single day, whether or not y'all see it, because
the algorithm is she's very, very moody. Okay, we try to work with her.
She updated on the 20th on TikTok, and
I saw that. Yeah,
I'm rage and throwing things.
Rage quit this app.
Rage quit this app. Oh gosh, yes. It's been a time. So we are so happy that the podcast family is here, though. The Patreon family is here. Everybody's hanging out with us, and we really, really appreciate it. But also, Megan, we have some DMs and some reviews that we got to get to.
Okay.
And again, you guys have been so amazing this entire season, going in on Apple, Spotify, wherever you listen to your podcast, you're putting in those stars. And then if the option doesn't allow you to go ahead and leave a review, you're sending them to us. You're sending them via the Instagram DMs. You're sending it to us via email through Disney Countdown Show at gmail.com. And we really appreciate it. So this first one right here.
Oh, yes.
Oh, wow. Okay. This was an email. And
Oh,
this
yay.
is from Maria K. via email. And the title is The Most Magical Podcast, a review.
Oh, love that.
I love this already. Hi, Megan and Danielle, longtime listener and DC 33 member of yours. Thank you.
Hey, Maria.
However, I have never had the chance to write a review. I thought that I needed to change. I've been listening to you guys since halfway through your first season of Disney Countdown Show. I was searching for something Disney related to take away my Disney blues and saw Danielle on the icon. Stop. Thanks. I had been following Danielle for a while on TikTok and knew I would be instantly hooked. I was not wrong. It led me to Megan, and I instantly started following you on all the socials. The chemistry you two have is amazing, and the magic you create for us at home is something I can't put into words. I can't get enough of listening to your countdowns and hearing your thoughts on all things Disney. It's my way of feeling at home when I'm away from the park. Walt Disney World is my home park. I already have a trip planned for June of this year and one for 2026. And just today, my mom and I decided we are going to Disneyland for my 35th birthday in 2026. I cannot wait. Oh, I'm so excited for you. I am already planning how to make it the most magical experience for me, my 3-year-old, and my mom. Any helpful tips or tricks or things I must do, please let me know. I hope one day to see you guys in the parks and maybe one day at one of the Patreon meetups. Thank you for spreading the Disney magic. I wouldn't be able to get through the long weeks without the magic you guys create. 5 out of 5 stars.
Oh, Maria.
Thank you.
So sweet. Thank you. That was a wonderful review. And thank you so much for being a part of our Patreon fam. We, of course, really appreciate that. But, oh, man, I'm so excited for your Disneyland trip next year.
See, and we can't even tell you, hey, do this, because there's going to be a lot of changes also happening next year with Disneyland.
That's true.
The best tip and trick that I can always tell you is eat all the things. Just eat all the foods.
We got good foods. Yeah.
Just enjoy the vibes, because if you're a Disney World girly, it is truly very, very different compared to Disneyland.
Yes, absolutely. But we do have the 70th anniversary going on next year, so that'll be fun.
Oh, that's right. Because, well, depending on
it's
what
gonna
time
last
you're going.
a long time.
Is it going to last through the entire year, do we know? Or at least until
it's
fall?
It's an 18-month celebration, so I think it should be... Yeah, I know. If it's not a holiday, you'll be celebrating the 70th.
Yeah, for sure.
So exciting. Well, this next one is on Instagram from Swelden915. And they say, hi. I love the show and listen to episodes to get me through my Stairmaster sessions at the gym. For me, it is a 15 out of 10. I'm a 7th grade math teacher, so trust me, that rating works. I was lucky to run into Megan at D23 Day at Disneyland back in August, and even saw Danielle outside Saratoga Springs last night when she was on the phone talking to someone and looked busy, so I didn't want to interrupt and didn't get to say hi. Yeah. My wife and I are annual pass holders and DVC members from Boston, so we end up visiting Walt Disney World around 5 times a year. Hopefully next time I see Danielle, I'll get to say hi and give her the orange bird pin I've been carrying around in my pin book when we visit Walt Disney World, hoping to run into her to give to her. I love the show, the interesting facts and recommendations you both share, and your passion for all things Disney. Keep slaying. You girls are awesome. Well, thank you. Oh,
I want to add some transparency, because I was looking around. I was trying to pay attention to people, and I did wave at someone, but I was on the phone. And okay, let me tell you what was happening though. Last Friday, when my family was supposed to leave, my family was in the airport. They were actively in the airport, and their flight got canceled at 10:30 at night. And so I'm still at Saratoga. I went back to the property to try to get some last minute filmings, because we were there all throughout the week and then we left. And so I'm there with Disney reservations trying to get a last minute reservation for my party at 6 and conjoined rooms or something like that. We ended up staying in Coronado and had a fabulous time.
Nice.
But that's what I was on the phone with, was Disney reservation line being like, yes, can you not just copy and paste over the same information I literally had in this last room? And no, we had to put in every single detail over again. But
oh my gosh.
So hopefully I get to see you again.
Yeah. It'll happen for sure. Dapper Danielle, and if you go 5 times a year, she'll see you.
Absolutely. Well, and then that's the thing, is that you have seen me once. You actually have laid eyes on me once, so you're bound to see me.
So what's going to
again.
happen again? That's right.
Oh,
That's
yeah.
the rule. Yes. Mm-hmm.
For sure.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we do have another one here, and this is from Shannon on Instagram. And this one says, "My countdown friends." I don't know if that's how she would have said it, but the countdown friends. Can I ask a silly favor? Okay. My bestie and I are coming in December to Disneyland, and when we were there February, we decided to wait and get the mini baseball hats when I came back, but they aren't showing on Shop Disney website anymore. Any clue if they are being phased out or if they can make them an exclusive in the parks only? It's the black cap with the ears and the red sequin mini bow.
Oh, okay.
I do vaguely remember that, but wasn't that last year already by this point? And they only had a couple, like they randomly kept showing up.
Yeah.
But they're not consistent everywhere. They're only in random locations, if that.
So, right. I feel like they're probably at both Mad Hatters in Disneyland. I definitely have to go and take a look, because I don't specifically look for baseball hats when I'm in the parks, but I feel like it's still there. Interesting that they took it off DisneyStore.com. That does happen with merch that where first of all sells out, or they straight up just want to phase out. So, but the fact that it didn't even go on like the sale portion is interesting. So, we will take a look for you. I'm gonna take a look. I'm going either tomorrow or the weekend, so I'll take a look, Shannon. I think it's still at the parks though. I
wonder if it's only in Disneyland, or maybe it's over here in Disney World. But I
vaguely remember seeing this question, or maybe producer Danny sent me this question when I was at there in March at Disney World, and I was looking in Magic Kingdom and I still couldn't find them. So at least in the Emporium. But Shannon, I'm gonna look in the Mad Hatters because that is where they're most likely to be. And I will check for you. Yeah, that'd be a fun little
here in
task
Disney
for the
World.
day.
I don't. We could go a whole rant on merchandise. We have Disneyland and Disney Cruise stuff showing up here in Disney World.
I saw the Disney Cruise Line stuff. Yeah,
right.
Yeah,
and I'm like, okay, tell me the 70th is happening, and you guys got all the merchandise budget, so we're getting your leftover merch that's not doing well, and they're just like, oh, just send it to World. They won't ever notice. I notice. Just letting you know.
We notice. Oh, so good. Well, Shannon, I love that we now have a task in the parks. We will get that. We'll check that out for you. This last one here is from Bess on Instagram. Bess says, "Hi, Danielle and Megan. Not sure you'll see this, but worth a shot. First of all, thank you for your podcast and Instagrams. Things in my world are a little tough right now, and the show is always a much-needed breath of fresh air and happiness. I'm a Disneyland local and Magic Key holder, but actually have a Disney World question for Danielle. My whole family, 6 adults plus an 8.5-year-old, a 6-year-old, and a 3.5-year-old, are doing one single day in Disney World prior to a Disney cruise this December. We're most looking into Epcot versus Animal Kingdom. Any advice or guidance, and does that advice change if we do a private tour? Do you think we could manage both parks in a day with a plaid? The chance of us all being together again in Disney World is pretty slim, so I really want to try to make the most of it. Thank you both again, and Megan, I hope we run into you in the parks one day, and maybe Danielle in December. I hope so too." This is a good question, Danielle.
This is a really good question because there's still so many very varying factors for me to even say, yeah, do the plaid, don't have the plaid. If you are trying to get on as many attractions as possible with the entire family, with the kids, I would say, get the plaid. And then you can go to almost any park if you really wanted to, or if you just want to do Epcot, Animal Kingdom, you'd be so Gucci. Like, you'll be totally, totally fine.
Right.
The main question, though, is if you're coming in December, Epcot, I love Festival of the Holidays. I love the storytellers. I love the Christmas vibes in Epcot. But I also really love Merry Menagerie over in Animal Kingdom. You need to but if you truly want the Christmas holiday vibes, I do think it's going to be more prevalent over in Epcot versus Animal Kingdom, if that helps make a choice in that sense.
Right.
And then, I mean, oh, goodness, when it comes to a tour guide, out of your 6 adults, if you have older people in your party, you have to also figure them getting in and out of that giant van quickly if you want to get the bang for your buck kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
Does that make sense?
Yeah. If mobility is a factor,
yes,
that's, you know, that kind of plays into, getting in and out of the van, getting into the park. Epcot is a very large park with a lot of walking involved.
Right. And Animal Kingdom, both the largest walking parks.
The largest park. Exactly. So, that's also something to think about. But and then having the private tour would get you on the rides faster.
Right. By December, we'll finally have the Zootopia attraction open under the Tree of Life, but that's it.
That's cool.
So everything else is going to be closed, though.
As in,
Epcot will be fully open.
Epcot's fully open. Dino Land will be pretty much closed. Is Dinosaur staying open through 2026 or to 2026?
They haven't said yet.
They haven't said anything
I think it is staying open through January.
Oh, okay.
So,
okay. I just love that you've decided to choose the parks that are nothing like Disneyland. I'm all for that. Those are my two favorite parks, so I think that's a great choice. If I had my way, if I was like, let's blow this out, we have one day, I will spend whatever amount of money I want at Disney World. Yes, I would rope drop Animal Kingdom, use the VIP tour, and then go to Epcot once you've done everything Animal Kingdom. 100%.
Accurate. Yeah, you could do that. Do the full morning, get on all the attractions you want to, see Merry Menagerie in the morning, because they end early anyway. They end at sunset.
Yeah.
And then the park's gonna be closed by like 6 anyway.
Right.
And then park hop over to Epcot and finish out your day there. Enjoy the nighttime lights and the music and the last of the storytellers. Well, they end at about 5 also. But then you can get the holiday snacks. Yeah. It'll be great.
Yeah.
Okay, that's what you're doing. We've decided for you. Good luck, Bess.
Good luck. If you're doing we're doing what we want and we're blowing it all out, I would say yes, VIP tour both parks. So yay. Okay, amazing. Well, we mentioned it earlier, but we do have a lovely Patreon fam, and we have some new members that we'd love to welcome to the Patreon. Marianne, Kelly, Rebecca, and Ashley. Hello, welcome. And of course, we have our live chat. We have a lot of Patreons in our live chat right now. We did open it up to all Patreon levels. So hello, everyone. Thank you for joining us in our live recording. And we just love our Patreon fam so much. We really have become one big happy family. I know that producer Danny had a few words that he wanted to say as well for our Patreons.
And some of the people that just joined our Patreon family are actually here in the chat also today. So I love that you guys were able to join for the last virtual session recording of the podcast before the finale. But now you can get caught up on all the bonus episodes while we're gone.
Yeah.
And then we'll just see you here in like less than 3 weeks, if that.
About 3 weeks. Yeah.
Yeah. But anyway, yes, Danny's come in and joined us in the studio, so that way he can say hi. For those that don't know, or you're newer to the fam, Danny is one of the original hosts of this show. He's also the producer of this show. And so he's the guy that really organized all this. He's the one that organized getting Bob onto the show for us, as well as our next guest for next season. I don't want to spill that for the episode just yet, but y'all want to come back for the season opener next year or next month.
Oh my gosh, so thrilled to be here. Congrats on an amazing season 5 first, Megan and Danielle. You guys are absolutely crushing it. It's been such a joy to watch just the evolution and maturation of the show, and you both as talent and hosts, since season 2 all the way up until now, y'all are crushing it and killing it. And obviously getting Bob Gurr is just like incredible icing on this season 5 cake. And I think it's the beginning of just a huge influx of amazing Disney legends and various iconic people coming on the show, which I'm super excited for. I know you teased that a little bit, Danielle. But first of all, I just want to offer congrats to both of you. And then, I wanted to say a huge thank you to our Patreon fam, our podcast fam at large. We were chatting before we went live here. When you do a podcast, you sit in front of a microphone and your screen, and you have no idea who the people are, the faces, the names, the stories of all the individuals around the world who listen to what you have to share, from your personal life to your opinions about the parks and foods and whatever. And it's just so amazing to us that we get to connect with each and every one of you, and that you tune in week over week that you listen to us while you're walking around the parks or flying to the parks, or some people who are pilots
doing the Stepmaster. Who was doing the Stepmaster while they're listening to us? I'm so proud of you, because I'm not.
It's just amazing, right? That we get to be a part of your life as you're driving your kids to school or you're off to work or whatever it might be. It's an honor and it's a privilege, and we don't take it lightly that you invite us into the most intimate places of your life. So thank you for trusting us to be there in those spaces. It really does mean the world to us. And we are so excited to come back for season 6. Now, I'm saying all of this from my heart, and I mean it. But the real reason we're doing this actually is to surprise Danielle with something. So, Danielle, your podcast family is incredibly proud of you. And so we just wanted to just do a little something for you. So just keep your eyes on the screen, Danielle. We're going to play something for you here.
Danielle, oh my gosh, I am so excited for you. I'm so proud of you. I'm so happy for you. And I hope that this week was everything that you dreamed of. Congratulations on this book, because it's seriously one of the biggest accomplishments. You're an author, babe. That is amazing. I am just so flippin' happy for you, and I'm so excited for the second book, and the third, and the fourth, which is probably gonna happen. But it's incredible. And I always love hearing about Disney history from you, and just having this to kind of have at all times. I can't even put into words. You are amazing. You're a wonderful friend, and of course, the best co-host ever, and I'm just so happy for you. So thank you for sending me this, first of all. And, I'm so excited for you. Congratulations, and you deserve all the success with this book and everything else in the world. Love you, girl.
Congratulations on your book. You're doing so great.
Congrats, Danielle.
Congrats, Danielle, on your new book. Can't wait till it hits #1 on the New York bestsellers list.
Hey Danielle, so I have to go right in and break out the ears, of course. So thrilled for you, and the fact that your vast knowledge of Disney is getting to be spread like pixie dust everywhere. Sending the biggest congratulations.
Congrats on your new book, Danielle. I'm so happy for you. I know it's gonna go crazy places. I'm so happy for you. Congrats.
Congratulations, Danielle. What an accomplishment.
Danielle, we're so proud of you. Congratulations.
Congratulations on the book. You're doing an amazing job. I'm so proud of you, and I love you so much.
Danielle, congratulations on your book. I have it waiting for me at home, and I'm going to put on my Dapper Danielle Spirit jersey and read it cover to cover.
Congratulations, Danielle, on the publishing of your book. We are loving this at our house.
Love the book. Can't wait for the next one. Mwah.
Congratulations, Danielle. I'm so excited for you. You deserve all your success.
Congratulations, Danielle. We love it.
Danielle, congratulations. To celebrate you today, I decided to fly all the way down to Florida. I'm at Epcot, your favorite park. At least that's what the Uber driver said, though. I don't know. I can't seem to find the Mexico Pavilion. Anyway, congratulations.
Danielle, a huge congrats on the release of your book. You know, in this time that's all about data and shares and analytics and engagement and all that nonsense, I want you to hold on to the fact that you've done something so much more important than all of that. You have made an impact through this incredible book, this labor of love, the sharing of your passion for the parks and the magic of Disney. It's incredible. You have connected with people all around the world. You should be so proud. We're so proud. Congrats.
That's not fair! You guys didn't have to make me emotional in the middle of the episode! I just did my eyeliner before this! I don't need this right now!
We did it!
Oh,
Yeah.
thank you!
Of course.
Oh,
We're so proud of you.
yeah! Oh, it's fine! It's fine, hold on!
I do want to say, everything I said before the surprise, I meant all of that, podcast fam, Patreon fam. I wasn't just saying all that to like set up the surprise. I did mean all of that, but it gave us a really great opportunity to surprise the heck out of Danielle.
I had no idea. This was happening.
Surprise!
And like, it was so great to see. You're so funny, because you even said when we were going through the show notes, you're just like, oh, for Disney News, no, we should definitely talk about the book. Like, we need to talk about the book. And I was like, okay, we'll talk about it. I feel like I've been talking about it so much in the past couple episodes. And you're like, I see what you did now. But I loved it at the same time.
Producer produces. But yeah, this was something that we wanted to do because your podcast family is so darn proud of you. And this is a major accomplishment. We know you've put so much time and energy, not just into the book, but like think about the lifetime of history you have with this company and with all of the magic and moments. Like it all has culminated in this. And it's just so beautiful. And I know we can just feel like, what's the next thing? What's the next thing? And you're already writing your second book. And I think having written and released a book, it can be easy to get caught up in like, well, what am I doing next, right? Because the first question most people ask you when you release a book is, well, when's the next one coming out? That's
oh my gosh,
yeah. And it can really mess with your head and your heart because you're like, well, I just put like a year or so of my life into this thing. Can we just celebrate this thing for now? And so we wanted to put this together for you to hopefully help you to sink into this moment and realize that you've done something really, really cool and nobody can ever take it away from you. And it's really impressive and you should be so proud.
Thank you. And it was so great getting to see so many of the Patreon followers. And some of the photos did pop up there in the video of people that have been listening. And some of you came over and said hi. You were there at the first signing at Barnes & Noble. And I appreciate you so much. In that moment in Barnes & Noble, I did do a little talk beforehand, and even in that talk I said it's so weird to really focus on Magic Kingdom and the celebration of the book coming out because I have already been working on Epcot. My mind is thanking the Phoenicians, and
right.
But thanks, Danny. I really do appreciate it, and it is the love and support has been overwhelming, and it's amazing. It's so crazy.
Yay.
Well, we're thrilled for you.
Yes.
All right. Now I'm going to get out of here so you guys can get on with the rest of your episode. But congrats. We're so proud of you. And obviously, we'll all be buying the second book as well. And I can't wait to see and learn all the hidden nuggets you have about Epcot. So congrats, Danielle. I'm going to get out of the way.
I'm still reeling. I can't even think of what we're doing. I'm finally going through and I'm seeing, like, I was so focused on the video and I was just focusing so hard on that. I'm now seeing the live stream chat and everybody say congratulations in the chat and everything being so delightful. And I'm like, stop.
Thanks, y'all.
Like, you guys are too nice. Stop being nice to me. Oh, goodness. And everybody's checking in saying like, yes, my book is on the way. I know some people, when they ordered it, like because of the random storms that were happening in Kentucky and in the Midwest area right there, some people's books have either gotten lost or they were just delayed in being shipped and that they're just now arriving. So I'm so happy that they're just now getting to people.
Yes.
And
Chica in Japan just got hers, so that's good.
Chica, you got one in Japan.
Yeah.
I love how because I don't know what the international reach is. I know in the UK the book is not arriving until June, so it won't be releasing until almost right before we come back from our break. So our UK family, stay tuned. It is coming to you very, very soon. Thank you so much. And what was the other comment I saw over here? Okay, Sam, you posed a really good question. The next one, a Disneyland version. I can confirm that Adams Media, an arm of Simon & Schuster, they were trying to get these ones out, and they wanted me to focus on Epcot because the Walt Disney World parks are my baby. I did offer. I was like, hey, I can do the Disneyland ones too. And they're like, no, we'll have somebody else work on that. So the Disneyland one is actually going to be releasing here very, very soon, and it's through our friends Sometimes Castles.
Yes.
We love them. They're fabulous live streamers, also over on YouTube and over on TikTok. And I've been corresponding with them. Actually, I just got a copy of their book for me to read over. And so they'll be doing the Disneyland version. So it's boots on the ground over there for that side. But yes, make sure you go and support them too, so you have the full series.
Yes, that's Rye and Skyla. And they are also really, really, they're kind of experts on Disneyland over here too. They know a lot about the OG park, so it'll be fantastic. I'm excited to read that one too.
Oh yeah.
Yay.
It'll be fun to have like the full set because that's what they're planning on doing.
Exactly. Right, all 6 US parks. I love that.
Yes.
Amazing. Well, surprise, Danielle.
I'm fine. Goodness.
Everything's fine. Everything's fine.
I wasn't expecting that. Like when you were doing, because you probably heard the voices and then a little bit of music if you're just listening to this right now, and it was all the faces of the Patreon members posing with the book, or they're wearing my spirit jersey. I think it was Mariah was wearing one of my OG shirts that I posted on my website back in like 2021.
Oh,
and
wow.
I was like, I don't even make that anymore. Many of you were wearing the spirit jersey too, and that my heart is glad and my heart is full, and all the feelings.
That's amazing.
So thanks again.
Thank you to all of our Patreons for being a part of that, and of course for being at the signings and stuff. It's also exciting. So if you're interested in following all the bonus episodes while we are taking our break, we do have our Patreon link in the episode notes. You can search us on patreon.com, Disney Countdown. And yeah, we love our fam so much. So thank you guys so much for being here. But Danielle, I mean, we've talked about the book a lot. We have. How is everything wrapping up? How was having the fam over the last couple days?
It was
in
great.
town. Yeah.
I will be 100% honest with you. And Dapper family and Dapper mom, I know you're listening. I love to death having the family here, being at the parks. It was our first time having the baby niece.
Yes,
so we had
it was
a 3-month-old with us in the park.
She was so adorable. Oh my God.
Oh my goodness, y'all. Chip and Dale and Mickey Mouse. Mickey wanted to keep Georgiana there.
I'm
Her
sure.
name was Georgiana, by the way.
Yeah.
And they were just like, well, Mickey was like, no, she stay
was
here,
like the stay here.
And we got some amazing photos, and I'll probably be posting a little bit more of those also, but I will be blurring out her face just for little baby
reasons.
and all that good jazz.
Mm-hmm.
It was a great time, but I say all this to say I loved it. But after a week, I was like, y'all are throwing off my groove. I have not been able to film my normal content.
Yeah.
I could not stop and do my normal thing. I got to see a lot of you though. I got to say hi to a lot of you during that time, and my family loves it. They think it's hilarious. So that was totally fine. A lot of you also messaged me saying, "Oh no, I saw you with your family. I didn't want to interrupt." I'm like, that's nice, but also you can come up and say hi anytime. They get a mood out of it.
Yeah.
But yeah, by the end of it, I was just like, yeah, you all need to leave, because I've gotten so used to going to the park by myself. And Megan, I'm sure you can attest to this too. I know my own groove. I have my own routine. It was killing me going into Disney Springs, and we were going with everybody else. Like, they were very tactical minded of, let's go to these stores because we were actually shopping for real things. I'm like,
right,
but I need to film content. I need to do this. And then the family's like, wait, what? And I was just like, cut my job.
Yeah, my job. You know, the thing I do.
The thing I do for a living that pays my rent. Yeah, exactly. And they were just like, oh yeah, I guess it's important. I'm like, yeah, it's important.
Yeah, gotta go do that. No, I know. You definitely have your own like routine that comes along with the job. And so, yes, having family and doing actual like a Disney, trip for a week, it could throw you off. And of course their flights were canceled, so you had to like
oh my gosh,
they stuck around for a little bit longer. But
right. And that was the night. Friday was when the tornadoes were going through Kentucky, and then Tennessee, where the rest of the family lives currently, it was getting tail ends of that. And even on, what was it, when they finally flew out on Monday, the next Monday, they were still delayed, but luckily they got the flight in the middle of the day. And then it was only delayed by like an hour and a half, and they were able to get past the afternoon thunderstorms. And it was a hot mess. But in traveling with a 3-month-old, I can only imagine.
Yeah,
and I was like,
it's tough.
I drive up, kick them out at the curb of the airport. Okay, goodbye. Good luck.
Have fun. Good luck.
See you later.
Oh man. Well, I'm glad they were able to hang with you for so long and enjoy some Disney with the new baby. That is really special. That's fun.
Yes. But Megan, give us a quick update, because the 70th has happened.
Yeah.
You went and saw a pre-screening of Lilo and Stitch also.
Yeah.
You got to see that. Any news or updates or things that you're like, okay, this is what's happening right now? I know a lot of everybody else has been paying attention to your food reviews for some of the 70th stuff.
Yes.
So.
Honestly, I kind of, posted as much as I could about it. We did the whole key thing where you get the pin at the end, and it's super cute. There were so many critiques of that on social media, just because, yes, it is a plastic key with one pin inside.
Did you see how Tim Tracker already announced how to override the system before it
Oh
even
yeah,
technically
immediately.
released?
He did that during the media event before Friday. Yeah.
Honestly, hilarious.
Hilarious. Yeah. So you can just stick a pin in this little hole in it and it just pops open so you don't have to do the whole thing. We decided to do the whole thing because we were going to be there the whole day. And we're just like, yeah, we want to see how it is, what these little like activations do. And it was pretty cute. We enjoyed it. We had a lot of fun. It's fun to do with friends. It's fun to do with kids. They really enjoy it too.
Oh yeah.
So, and then at the end, of course, it was very special because I ended up getting the Winnie the Pooh honeypot pin.
I saw that.
And I traded with Blake, who got the Millennium Falcon, which is so funny because he also is a big Star Wars person. But I'm like, no. Blake needs the honeypot. So we traded, and it was really special. And yeah, it's so fun to have Paint the Night back. There's a cute little cavalcade that happens during the day. Better Together is over at DCA. The World of Color. I love the new World of Color. I think a lot of people really like the new one. It's really cute. And Danielle, your Muppets do open the show with the safety announcement. Adorable.
I love that Joe from Legal is in there.
Joe from Legal is in there. Yes.
People, he was an added Muppet here within the past couple years, like during the ABC special type era. And some people don't love Joe. And I'm like, no, is he a weasel?
He looks like a weasel. Yeah.
And I'm like, hilarious, number one. And I love his voice. Like the voice doesn't match how cute his little body is. And I think that's what I think I love about him the most.
It's like this deep, serious, like lawyer voice. It's great.
Exactly.
Yeah. And then yeah.
And he throws his head back. I think that's so funny.
It's really good. They did a good job with the whole safety announcement spiel. It goes on for like 5 minutes. It's great. And then what else? Oh, the Boys to Men Rainbow Connection cover is really cute too. That happens at the end of the show. Yeah. So fun new show.
I've seen little clips of it, but I haven't like watched the entire thing because I don't want too many spoilers. So I will be having to go and check it out.
Yeah. Come and see it for yourself this year. Yes, for sure. I like it a lot. They added a lot more elements around the fountains too, which is really cool. So that's special. It's a totally blown out World of Color, and I love it. You know, it's my fave. But yeah, lots of new foods too, lots of new sweets. Unfortunately, this is for the podcast, fam. I am on this like diet right now where I can't really have a ton of carbs or sugar, so I have to take a little break from that. But I'm definitely trying all the coffee. There's a lot of coffee and cold brews happening literally at every quick service spot. So they're not. I will say they're not amazing. The ones that I've had.
I was watching your videos and I was like,
they're not.
Oh.
No, I know. It's because like the coffee itself, it's not, I don't know, y'all. It's not hitting very, very well. The toffee nut one from Jolly Holiday is pretty good, but everything else that I've tried so far has been just okay. However, I've been told to try the honey one from Hungry Bear Barbecue Jamboree. So that one's next.
I don't know. They messed up banana pudding and Patreon
the banana. So the banoffee one at DCA is great. I had like one bad comment about that one, but everyone seems to really enjoy that one, and I did too. I thought it was fantastic. So Cappuccino Cart is a good spot to go to in DCA for that. But yes, so very fun stuff happening over at the park. I also did get to go see Lilo and Stitch last night, and can confirm it is so cute and a really good live action. I cried multiple times, and it's very heartwarming. Lots about family and Ohana, and they did so. Y'all, the elements of the animated movie are totally there. They did change a few of the characters and like the storyline a little bit, but I think they did a really good job with it. So, I think y'all are gonna like it. It's really cute. Yeah.
We'll see if I get over to it eventually. I've been so bad about going to the movies. I feel like I talk about that every single time. You go see a movie and you're just like, you haven't seen it yet. I'm like, no.
It's tough. You really got to carve out time. I'm trying to go see this stuff with my husband too, because he usually works when these screenings are happening. So we like have to go at different times. But I still haven't seen Thunderbolts with him. He really wants to see Lilo and Stitch, so I got to go again. My mom really wants to see Lilo and Stitch. So yeah, I have to like carve out some time in the next week or so to watch these movies.
And you're like, I ain't got time for the rest of y'all.
What do you mean? I don't got time. Yeah. Where's the time? Yeah. But anyways, I think, Danielle, would that bring us to some Disney news?
Just a little bit of Disney news.
We interrupt our program to bring you this
Disney news. Okay, well, first thing, there's a lot of stuff happening over in Hollywood Studios. We want to go ahead and announce that and talk about that real quick. And a lot of these are cast member previews that are happening right now. The first one is the Little Mermaid show is going to be in cast member previews this weekend. Well, by the time you guys are hearing it, it will have happened just a couple days before on Monday. It's happening over Memorial Day weekend. And then the Villain show is currently, as we're recording this podcast, is in its preview as well right now for cast members. And everybody's loving the Villain show. Like, it's getting good responses.
It is. Someone did post something.
Right?
So it's getting out there, yeah.
And I have been very blessed. I will have the opportunity to be able to go see the Villain show and the Little Mermaid show, as long as I can make sure I wake up in time for the Villain show. I should be able to go get a preview of it, and I think that'll be awesome. I'm excited for that. And then the Little Mermaid show, I know Jodie Benson was there. She got a Jodie Benson preview, not even a cast preview. It was just her and an entourage preview, and she was crying at the end of the show.
She was so emotional. It was so cute.
But I feel like anything to do with her mermaid, she's emotional with. So.
Yeah. True.
But I'm excited for that too. I think that's very, very cool. So I will hopefully, by the time we come back next month, I will give you a full recap of that, or you'll see it over on the socials. So make sure you're paying attention to that. But the other question I've gotten was, Danielle, were you able to secure a spot for this cast member recording of Muppet Vision 3D? I'm able to get a preview of the other ones because you're allowed to bring plus ones as cast members and they don't have to be cast members. The Muppet Vision one, doesn't work that way. It's just for the one cast member, and y'all, this broke the cast member site. I don't know if you guys saw anything of this, but the cast members, how they get their shifts and their information and everything like that is through something called Cast Life. And Disney didn't even announce it. They just subtly put it up there and just slid it onto the events page. One person was reading through it and posted it to a Facebook exchange page and said, "Go now!" And all these cast members, all the Muppet fans came out of the woodwork and basically broke the site. And if you got a spot for it as a cast member and you're listening to this episode right now, I am so happy for you that you were able to secure something for that recording. I believe that just happened. I believe it happened.
Did it just happen? Okay.
And I've been seeing a lot of people's videos. I'm so happy to see the show full right now, and people going and saying their goodbyes. I will be there. And by the time that this episode airs, the Muppets will be in one of its last show weeks, and then when we come back from our break, it'll officially be gone, and I will be crying. So that's really why we're having to take a break, y'all. Is Danielle will be in mourning for 3 weeks and will not be
That's
emotionally
really the
recovered.
reason.
That's really the reason why we're taking a break.
Oh man.
But yes, I will be there. Leading up multiple times in Hollywood Studios. I have a lot of stuff to record, and crazy.
Lots of stuff happening over in DHS. Very exciting times and some sad times, but you know what? We're gonna keep moving forward, as Walt Disney says. And well, speaking of Walt and our lovely Disney history, we have a very special guest to welcome into the studio of a Disney legend, the Disney Imagineer, who was there opening day and worked on many beloved attractions that are currently running at Disneyland Resort. I think it's time to bring in Bob. Should we bring in Bob Gurr, Danielle?
Let's bring Bob into the studio. And bibbidi bobbidi boo, look who it is. It is Bob. Well, actually, I think Sorcerer Mickey has joined us instead. Mickey, do you know where Bob is?
Oh, he's right here. He's right here.
Oh my goodness.
Back to bed, Mickey. Okay, all right. Thank you. You woke up. Oh, he's taking a nap. That's what he was doing, yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, it is so fabulous to have you. Y'all, we have already prefaced this in the beginning of the episode, but Bob Gurr has officially entered into the studio now. And Bob, I just want to preface this with Megan and I are over the moon to have you on as our special guest at the end of this season for our podcast. So thank you so much for being here.
Sure. No more gushing. No more.
Nope. And me and Megan has run into you a couple of times, I believe, in passing. I
Yes.
think you guys were both at a movie event, correct, Megan?
It was the D23 ball of 2023, the holiday ball. Yes. Bob, you and I were drinking the same beer at the time.
I've gone to 10,000 events over 45 years. I can remember everybody at every one of those. Yes.
Bob, we're just
believe it.
impressed that you are like what influencers strive to be, with invited to so many different events and like special things. Like that is a huge flex. That is so cool.
Right. It's Ernie's fault. Yeah, my manager there.
Well, he's just keeping you
Thank
active,
you,
making
Ernie.
sure that you're out there socializing with the people.
You know, it's unfair to run somebody who's going to be 94 this year, to run them so hard publicly.
But you do it so well, Bob. You're doing
Right?
flying
Yes.
colors.
All right.
Yeah,
Well,
it's
and even
awesome.
our producer Danny even got to see you here recently, and his biggest comment was Bob was standing there because you have and we'll get into this a little bit later. You have a documentary that came out, and he was there at one of your red carpet events, and he was watching you meet and greet with everybody, and he's just like, "Wow, Bob is just a pro at this. He knows what he's doing. It's so impressive." So that's why we were so excited to have you, and she has to pick your brain and talk about some really fun things in the Disney parks.
Yeah.
But
All that to say, thank you,
yeah.
Bob, so much for being here. I am a huge fan of your work. Danielle is a huge fan of your work. So thank you for everything that you've done over the years and the memories that you have basically created for people, for us in our lifetime. And I would love to know, just right off the bat, I mean, what's it like for you knowing that for majority of your life, you played such a pivotal role in all of these amazing Disney memories that families have for the rest of their lives?
Well, actually, I have a hard time getting used to the fact that I'm famous in certain parts of the world. Somehow my ego doesn't go to my head. I don't know. I'm missing something. But a couple of years ago, we got partway, feeling that, well, yeah, I did a lot of stuff, because Ernie took me to a Prada store and spent $830 and bought me red and black Prada shoes. So then the people noticed the shoes, and then they
We love
noticed
the
my
shoes.
face. Yes. No, but I get this question all the time. I have to stop and have empathy for why someone walks up to you, and I'll give you a very simple example. Very commonly, I will find a fellow's probably in his 50s, a little bit of gray hair on the side, and he's got children or a grandchild, and he's near tears. And he's saying, "Oh, Bob, I've been looking for you for years and years to thank you, because they let me ride in the nose of the monorail when I was 5 years old." And I can look at the sincerity with the look on the fellow's face. A grown man with tears in his eyes, because he's finally met me and he wants to thank me for that simple thing to him, a 5-year-old child, that it's a giant thing to him and his family. And I get that, and every kind of variation. See, I'm very, very impressed with the thousands of people I meet wherever I've gone. They all have the same incredible connection to Walt Disney and Walt Disney's parks, and of course, all the other things that the Walt Disney Company does today. And I'm always amazed by how a Walt Disney, and then everything it radiated from that, has grabbed so many people in the world emotionally. And then might be because I'm the last oldest living original Imagineer that Walt hired, because everybody else died. They didn't stay with me, so now I get all the questions, or I get all the thanks. So it's kind of a very overwhelming thing, but I've grown used to it. So
Right.
I have to kind of, maintain my emotional control in the face of this onslaught of Disney connection emotion.
Yeah, that's actually a very interesting perspective that you're adding to that. And Megan and I, we can't even fathom like the same kind of level at all. We have our little individual social media followings, and we have some really appreciative fans and people that even listen to the show that come up and say hi to us. But we can't even imagine the amount of time. And once you said, oh yeah, you're the last physical connection, I think is why people are coming up and saying hi. And that is amazing to think about. But actually, speaking of being the last original Imagineer to be hired, this is something that I've been wondering personally. Who gave you the call? Like how, when you were finishing up and you were finishing up your design degree and working on all these different things, because I believe you went to school in Michigan, is that right?
Well, no, very, very quick recap. I loved
Yes.
cars and airplanes at age 5 years old. My mathematics was so bad I couldn't get into an aviation engineering school. So cars were sort of second choice because they're artistic. They don't require engineering if you're designing the outside.
Mhm.
Okay, I went to Detroit. I worked there for 2 weeks and decided it's a dead end. So I chose a dead end career. I returned and goofed off completely for a year and a half, go to the beach every day, draw cars for somebody else. And then one day the phone rang and it said, meet a Mr. Irvine at the Disney studio in 20 minutes. So I went out to the studio. I met a Mr. Irvine. He walked me into the back lot and I saw this little chassis that obviously needed a body. I knew about that little chassis. I knew about there was going to be a Disneyland because of a photograph in the LA Times. And because I knew of iWorks, I was friends of the iWorks family, Don and Dave, where I went to school with them. And every month they'd show a little movie about, what's going on in the back lot. And there was a little, kind of an ugly little green and yellow car with Kirk Douglas driving his boys around in it. And I saw this car had no body. I thought, oh, I know why they called. I could do that. And that's how I wound up coming in the door.
So they just were like, here's a test project. And then you just stayed on from there, basically?
Well, I saw what they needed and I knew I could do it. But a few weeks later, I did find out who turned me in.
Oh.
When you're a car guy, there's car guys all over the place. And there was two car guys, quite prominent, working for Walt. One was Ward Kimball, who I knew several years before I went to the studio. And the other fellow was a producer. And both of them and myself were in a car club called the Horseless Carriage Club of Southern California. Now, Walt never puts an ad in the paper. He asks people. He says, say, do you know somebody that could come in and do this thing? You know somebody could write some music for us? Oh, say, Ward, do you know somebody who can design bodies for little cars? And of course, they also call Bob, call Bob. So Walt had somebody call me. And Mr. Irvine that was waiting for me at the gate in the parking lot. I found out the next day he was in charge of all the design of the entire Disneyland. And he's waiting at the gate for me. Ooh, I must have been an important call.
Or like, we got to get somebody to be able to cover this. Find the guy, find the guy.
Right. And away I went for 27 years.
That is amazing.
Truly amazing.
And we were talking about the different, me and Megan beforehand, we were talking about the different vehicles that you have worked on over the time, everything from Main Street vehicles to ride vehicles. And we definitely have some personal favorites that we love of yours. But I guess the first couple of projects that you worked on was it Autotopia or was it other vehicles besides that?
It's pronounced Autopia, babe. Autopia.
I know. I just say the Florida version.
No, everybody does it because you see the word auto and you're going to say auto.
Yep,
right. And then it ends with PIA and then you go, oh, Autotopia. It's one of those, there's a technical name when you mash words together and some writer did it.
Dyslexic. That's me.
it's a total normal instantaneous reaction to a portmanteau type of word.
It's
That's
okay.
okay.
I
And
forgive I forgive
you know,
Danielle because it's called the Tomorrowland Speedway at Magic Kingdom,
no,
and
she gives me such a hard time about it every episode, and even when I talk about it online and in videos, I want for this is video proof, y'all, that Bob Gurr just offended me. Thank you very much.
All right.
Anyway, what was my question? I got so distracted by
just
that
about
very
Well, your
the
favorite,
vehicles.
one of your favorite vehicles, and
Mhm.
you want to ask me about it.
yes. I guess what was the first couple projects that you really came on and what you were hired for? I guess you could say.
Well, I was hired for number one, a body of a little car, Autopia. And this is October of 1954. The park is going to open the following July. While progressing the work on the Autopia car, Walt says, "Oh, Bobby, I need a parking lot train." "Oh, well, okay, I'll take time out and I'll design a parking lot train." "Oh, Bobby, the company's going to build a tractor for us. All you got to do is make a drawing of what it's going to look like, and they'll just go ahead and build it." "Oh, okay. Well, we need a couple of more little things as we go." "Oh, Bobby, why don't we have a little small Greyhound bus for the little kids?" See, some of these ideas flow fast, and he has me draw enough drawings to show that it won't work. So, which was an interruption of supposed to be one job. And then that led to immediately after the park opened, more jobs. And that's the way Walt worked, at least in my case, for the 12 years that I worked with him. His MO always was he'd come over and pick up my boss, Roger Broggie Sr., and the three of us would have a conversation wherein Walt would describe to my boss, he says, "I want Bobby to get started on this or get started on that, so everybody knows we're going to go do something." He never gave me a production notes like a movie studio would.
Right.
He just said, and like in the case of the monorail by 1958, he says, "Bobby, we're going to work with a German company, and their train doesn't look very good. Here's the pictures of it. So I want you to get started right away on our monorail."
Are we getting a visual representation?
He walked away with no instruction whatsoever.
Here you go.
Okay.
Go
No,
design it.
I found out he did that with all the Imagineers.
Oh
Because
my God.
number one, stop think. Walt picked out, I think, about 11 people out of the studio and reassigned them from studio to his private company, WED Enterprises, which was squirreled away throughout various rooms on the studio lot. And he picked up 7 people from outside the company, and I'm one of the 7 that were what we call, outside pickups. And that was the heart of the original group of Imagineers that were in place by January 1st of 1955. Okay. So he would give work to people, not by grand orders. He would walk around and sort of ask questions of people. For example, let's say he comes up to you and he says, "Oh, Danielle, we're thinking of doing this kind of a funny ride, and it might have ice or something on it. And we got some pictures of it. Do you think a thing like that would ever work?" Now he's posing a question to you. And now your mind is starting to spin in circles. What is he up to now? Non-specific. And then he'd say, he'd go down in the hall and he'd talk to Danny. He says, "Danny, we got several things we got going here. It might be some kind of a ride vehicle. I don't know if you know anything about them or anything, but give it some thought. I'll get back to you." And then he'd go down and talk to Megan and a question, similar. Guess what he just did? He dropped little seeds into the heads of creative people that are very curious. Stop and think of that. Okay, he's planted the buzz. This is BuzzFeed. This is. I mean, this is the modern version of clickbait.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, then, maybe a week or two later, all of you are talking to one another and says, hey, Walt asked me the darndest thing. And then Daddy goes, oh, he asked me something like that too. And then Megan says, oh, well, he told me something else. Okay, and now you know what's going on. Something's going on. Now you're excited. What is he up to? And then pretty soon they'll be in a day and somebody will send out a memo and say, come on over Thursday. Walt's going to come over and take a look at some stuff. We got some stuff we're going to look at. And now you find out, oh, there really is a project. Oh, and we're going to get assigned. And he did that with every project, big or small, depending on how much total involvement of people. But generally speaking, he left you then with a continuation idea of, well, you thought about this, you got some ideas here, so why don't you just get going? And then he leaves the room. Now, in extreme, I want to mention the monorail for 1959, opened in June, but in late October of 1958, the year before, he walks out after saying, get started on ours right away, and he leaves me with a pencil and a blank piece of paper. Most people would be terrified. I've never been trained as a mechanical engineer, but I love design, I love cars, I love airplanes, I love all this kind of stuff. Curious all the time. It only took me about 2 or 3 days to have a design show up in my mind, and I could sketch it out at home on a piece of paper of the picture of the monorail crossing. Oh, it's right behind me. There it is. See, up there on the wall. Yeah. And then come into the office and I made that drawing that, it's kind of a thing called monorail crossing.
Yeah.
And I drew that up in about 2 hours. It's uncanny that when Walt will get somebody started and let them fly at it, and no committee meetings to interrupt, no production notes until later in the job, you can have a very pure design, a pure something. Look what he did with the Sherman Brothers. All the time he did that. Minimum. I remember in the case of Small World, we had a lot of Small World mechanical apparatus moving, the little dolls starting to move, and these little motors, and the little dolls are doing this. And Sherman, Robert looked with Richard and said, well, what is all of this? And Walt says, well, you're going to write music to that. This was, in hindsight, the creativity was certainly very, very different than one would expect from a large organized company.
Right.
The other side of it, of course, as time goes along and the companies all mature, have a more formalized ways of doing things, you have meetings, and meetings can be quite fatal if they're too big too soon, because you will lose the purity of an approach that people left alone for a few days might have come up with something that was really quite stellar before a meeting. The problem when you go to a meeting is you're there because somebody invited you. You have to say something and interrupt something, even if you don't even know what in the world you're talking about. You have to show that you are needed and you are a participant. Well, it's kind of dangerous if you're pretty good at what you're doing, and the guy with the first idea is not too good, and you're helping his idea get better. Well, that's okay, but if you're getting in his way, that's not okay.
Right.
Oh, pardon my complaining.
No. I think this is actually something that Megan and I have talked about, and just like seeing, not to be negative, but also, and this is for any company, not just Disney, but how many creatives have not had a chance to shine and move forward because of something that could have been an email, and instead were drugged into a meeting, and the idea was squashed for one reason or another. And I think it's so funny that you say that, because then that's very affirming for me to hear, Bob, about how you're saying that no, Walt gave y'all the creative liberty to say, hey, just plant a little seed and then you are the one that has to water it and create it and make it grow. And he would come in with additional notes, maybe in the back end afterwards, but the real true creativity started with you and the rest of the Imagineers. I think that's awesome.
He was the just one spark for imagination. Like as much as I don't love Journey to Imagination with Figment.
You don't love Figment, but you're quoting him.
It's just he created the spark, you know? That's amazing.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Well, he had the basic MO of his approach, but of course, if it was going to be architecture, he starts talking architecture with architecture guys. Sherman's, he'll talk music with them. And if you're going to talk really clever, cute little animation for something as in an attraction, he'll talk to those guys. But in the case of vehicles, anything with wheels on it, go talk to Bobby. He does anything on wheels. Yeah.
Now the one larger attraction that is on wheels as well is something that you were just talking about. It came to my head because it came after a particular ride that had a pathway through Fantasyland, Tomorrowland, Fantasyland, and I just want to know what the conversation was like when Walt said that he wanted a Matterhorn attraction or a mountain to go right smack dab in the middle of Disneyland. But however, something was already there and right in the pathway. So he needed to make a hole on the side of on the mountain. So how did that come about? I know you were in charge of the vehicles, but were you a part of that conversation of constructing this mountain in the middle of Disneyland?
Yes, only after a few months of work that he was starting in that direction.
Mm-hmm.
Most people understand when he went to Switzerland, he was watching the filming of the Third Man on the Mountain.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, if you're in Zermatt, down in the little town, and you get up when the light's just right and you look up the hill and look at the Matterhorn, that is a shockingly artistic piece of planet Earth.
Mm-hmm.
He was so intrigued. He immediately got in touch with Vic Green, one of our art directors, and just jokingly said, "Oh, Vic, build this." So by the time he got back, he had in his mind the shape of that Matterhorn.
Mm-hmm.
So he had Fred Jerger, one of our model builders in the shop, build a 3-foot tall sculpt of that mountain. So, it's looked like a melting pile of white ice cream is what the thing looked like. And he called me over and showed it to me. And he says, well, we've decided we're going to do a roller coaster, but it's going to look like it's a flume ride, and a toboggan on an ice chute. And he says, but, we can't have ice in the summer in Anaheim, so it's going to have wheels on it.
Mm-hmm.
And so we're going to work with Aero Development up north, and they're going to build the thing. And I want you to design the course line for the track that's going to wind its way through this mountain. And then he says, oh, by the way, put 2 tracks in there, and then he walks off.
That was the walk-off moment. Okay.
Okay, not just one, make it 2 while you're at it. Just casually.
No, he did just like that. Number one, roller coasters, at least in the United States, are always well known. They're like painted wood, bunch of sticks, and then there's a bunch of metal plates, all noisy and bangy like, and you have a train of 3, 4, 5 cars banging along on it. And you control it by the operators watching it from every train. So it was only one train on the track. And then there's people sometimes ride the train. There's a handbrake. They can keep it from going too fast. It's very crude, dangerous type of machinery. But what Walt just decided in his mind is we can't have a ride operator control 2 trains and 2 tracks, because it's hidden inside a mountain. You get little glimpse of it here and there. That meant this is entirely different. It's going to have some kind of a control system, like a block signal on a railroad, things like that. So that was massive technical things that's going to have to be achieved by somebody, which turned out to be Aero Development. And in my case, all I had to do was design the course line, which is just like saying, oh, just give me a line that goes around in circles and up and down, and we'll give your drawing up to air development, and they'll build the track based on your line. Okay. So this is long before computers. So I have a great big drafting board. Figured out right away, I'll draw a plan view of the track, using a pencil and compass, just like your high school drafting. And then I'll have another drawing on the lower part of the board that's a slope, because there's a secret number called a neutral slope. It's like 0.035, something like that, that says if you have a vehicle on a track, some kind of wheels and materials, if it's standing still, it won't start by itself. And if it is moving, it'll maintain that same speed without speeding up or slowing down. Okay, Bobby, you just designed that track, so every time it makes a dip, it comes back up and it doesn't go any higher than that neutral slope line. This is all pencil and paper and compass hand drafting. About the second day in, I thought, oh my gosh, I need to know the speed that it's going to change, how you're going to bank it to go around a turn. I need trigonometry. But I got an F in the 10th grade on Geometry 1.
Oh no! You're like, I'm just the design guy, not the math guy.
Yeah, no, but see, I'm not trained as an engineer. I don't know this stuff until all of a sudden, oh my gosh, we need this. But anyway, I had a little booklet with a triangle and a circle. Anybody watching this program will know what that is. That's the mathematics to do with trigonometry. And it's no secret. It's in little booklets. You just look it up and you can teach yourself trig in about 15 minutes. Now you got a useful tool.
I love how casually you say that. You're like, yeah, you can learn trigonometry, but I guess that was also kind of the expectation with working with Disney too. Is like, well, you don't have the skill set yet, but you will. You'll figure it out.
Well, you just hit the nail on the head. Stop and think. Had I paid money to a college for 4 years to get an education in engineering, I would be very, very well trained in what you shouldn't do.
Right.
But since we all work for Walt Disney, and none of us had ever built a theme park, and certainly not Walt, we're all trying to figure it out and learn how to do what he wants to do. Because if he said we're going to do it, well, we're just going to do it. And that's that. And so the type of people that Walt gathered, you can understand why they were so unique, that they wouldn't shy away from being asked to do something they've never, ever done. Poor old Exitencio, he was a background artist, fine artist. And Walt said, X, I want you to write the music for the pirate ride. Walt, I don't write music. He says, well, you're going to do it if you have a problem. Go down and see George Bruns. He'll help you write it. Won't give you a chance to chicken out because he walks off.
Right.
The conversation ends.
You have no time to say no.
You get in, but Walt, he's gone.
And you're like, well, I guess I'm going to learn how to write music now too.
Amazing.
That's fine.
Amazing.
Yeah. Well, the people that he has to do things surprised themselves. They didn't know they could do these things. Somehow Walt had a sixth sense. Who should he hire? What should he ask them to do? And if they might look like they could do something completely different, he's telling them to do it. And that's how it worked.
That's amazing.
There's no,
I love hearing
no
that.
better lesson, no better teacher than real life, right? When you're just thrown into it.
Yeah. Well, you see, the outcome was at the end of the 27 years, I designed 100 projects for Disney, some really big and a lot of little smaller ones, of course. I never did anything over. So I never got good at anything. Everything was completely new, completely different. But guess what? An engineering school would never show you all the things you were going to wind up doing.
Nope.
And this is why it's very, very important for people to have no fear launching off into things that they can learn as they go, and they will collect a body of knowledge that no school could ever give them.
Mm-hmm.
Well said. Fully
Yes,
agree.
very affirming. Yes,
Mhm.
I think there's a lot of people that listen to our podcast that probably needed to hear that and just being like, yeah, no, you need to go out and try the things. Don't be worried about it. Just go feet first and see what happens.
Well, see, let's say something doesn't work, and when something didn't work, in the case of Walt leading us into something, something as big as like an Epcot, even in later years,
Mhm.
you spend the time, you spend the money, and it doesn't work, and we can't get the time back, and we certainly can't get the money back. He talked to people and says, "Well, we sure found out what doesn't work, so why don't we get cracking and let's see if what we can do to get it to work." And the effect that would have is the persons involved in the bad design that wasn't bad, it was you try to reach way out and it didn't work. Number one, they know that they didn't die right away, and they know that Walt didn't fire him on the spot for blame. He didn't blame. And what it does to that person in the future, they have no fear about suggesting all the crazy ideas. But if you criticized or you blamed, what you've just done, you've killed the inspiration for being the first person to put up their hand to answer Walt and say, "See, I have an idea. I think I can help you do that." Walt would have killed his own creative team with threat and negativity. That's the biggest lesson I saw that everybody learned from it.
Wow. Now, I guess so going along with some of the opening day, because you mentioned that you were hired on right before the opening of Disney World, or not Disney World, Disneyland. Where were you on opening day in 1955? Because we know it was kind of all hands on deck for the opening.
Well, we had the inauguration day on the 17th and the opening day on the 18th. So we had two shows that we were doing. The first show with our inauguration day, we had all the TV people, all the TV crew there. But on the following day, we actually had just the park without the television. So we were really concentrating on what we have to get everything to work. The job I was assigned to was to move 9 Autopia cars from the ride, bring them over and put them north of the Opera House, which at that time was a mill, wood mill, and have all cars ready to enter the parade line on the parade. And then at the north end of the parade, we take them and put them back on the ride. We did that on right at inauguration day, and we did it on the real opening day, which meant much of the day I was assigned to keep those cars running, and then after like the television part, be at the attraction and keep tabs on what the cars were doing. Well, I could see the cars are starting to break already.
Oh.
Yeah, by the second day, and of course by the end of the week, out of the 37 ride cars, there was only 2 running. I knew I wasn't an engineer. I knew there was a lot I'm going to have to learn.
But I think that's awesome that you were like, no, I was there watching my attraction, watching my cars, and I was ready to go ahead and start working on the next update for them immediately 1 week afterwards.
No, that's correct. That summer was a good example of when something doesn't work and you have to figure it out. Number one, what broke and why. Number 2, what are you going to change? And then number 3 is execute it and follow it on to its completion. And hopefully that does solve a problem. This is an important part of design. Now, everybody loves to design something from scratch, but how about when you redesign something that broke? That is a superb education. Again, engineering school wouldn't tell you that. You have to literally think like you're hanging around race cars. Race cars, they either win or lose, and they all break at some time or other. And that's where the wisdom comes from what your machinery did or didn't do.
That's right.
Yeah.
Megan, do you have another? I know you had a question about the sky buckets.
Well, I know. So, I Bob, you completely answered my question about like the Matterhorn and the Skyway and everything. But I was going through your social media because I am so thrilled that you are so active on social media, and I love all of your videos, especially from the parks. But I did see that you were the only Imagineer, or at least the first one, to ever suggest a vehicle that Walt himself had not thought of, and that was the Main Street fire engine. And I
Yeah.
was we love it so much. It is still operating currently at Disneyland. I've heard from Danielle, who is at East Coast, that it is not super operational in Magic Kingdom. But
Don't even get me started.
I'm sorry. So what we were talking about the Main Street vehicles. Was there, because Main Street is obviously kind of modeled after obviously Walt's hometown of Marceline, a few other, cities that he grew up in. But what was kind of like the story objective behind these Main Street vehicles, like the fire engine or like the omnibus?
All right. Well, backing up to the first vehicles, we had a red one in 56, we had a yellow one in 57, and then also in parallel to that, the first omnibus and then the second omnibus following that. And then a year later, the fire engine. So never, it's a lineage of adding vehicles to Main Street. All right. While we were designing the park, Walt wanted to have antique cars on Main Street. And the general thought was, where are we going to find real antique cars, fix them up so they can be used as a ride vehicle? And Walt sent my boss Roger and I out to San Bernardino. There was a guy who had over 100 old cars, like 1910 era cars. And this guy was a strange old guy in a black coat with barns full of old cars. And I knew cars enough, from the Horses Carriage Club that we were in. Never would you ever think of taking an antique car, and they're all different, and try to refurbish them and use them. And well, I came back and gave Walt the report, and I says, don't ever think of doing something like that. Well, Bobby, what are we going to do? I want to have some antique cars on Main Street. Well, don't you know we can design and build our own antique cars? There's nothing to building a car. They're very simple. Cars that look like about a 1903, 1905. They're incredibly simple. There's nothing complicated about it. And so he said, well, let's go do one. So we made the first one. It worked well enough that we thought, oh, let's make another one, the yellow car. Oh, now we need an omnibus. Okay, so all of a sudden these cars just appeared as brand new old cars.
So like
the
engine and the base would be from a 50 model car, but the outside is something that you kind of like overlaid on top of it, right?
Yeah, in simple terms, we can buy standard mechanical stuff from the radiator all the way to the rear axle. That's store-bought stuff. And the frame is real easy. It looks like a steel ladder. And then you put all the lightweight body bits and pieces on it and put cute headlights on it and paint it up cute. You have a modern car. The point being that since 1956 on up, all the service parts are easy parts that are still available, including the tires. So the idea was I would design something that will be able to maintain forever because it's brand new and it can stay brand new, with always being continuously maintained over the years.
That is
But then came one day, yeah. Well, it's a simple concept because number one, Southern California was full of hot riders. I'm a sort of a hot rider type race car guy. So to me, building a car from scratch, that's really simple. Because we got the Southern California hot rod culture. That an engineering school would never suggest to you. I wouldn't do that. But anyway, Walt would come into my office once in a while, sit and chat a little bit, and that's how the omnibus came about. He sitting there and had a look on his face, and he slaps his knee and says, "Say, Bobby, we don't have a double-deck omnibus on Main Street." And I said, "No, you don't, but there's a travel town across the river from us here, and I can go get the dimensions of of it. And he says, well, I'll be right back. I got a little British dinky toy I bought in London last year, and make it look like that. A little toy car. But that was an easy job. I buy a truck chassis and we build the body on the truck chassis. So there's very little to have to invent. But one day he's sitting in my office again, and this time I slap my knee and say, well, we don't have a fire engine on Main Street. We had a horse car, horse drawn, but it's not safe, not practical. And he said something like, no, Bobby, we don't. And about 10 minutes later, the accounting department phones up and the lady says, Bob, write this number down. This is the accounting project number for the new fire engine job. And I thought, ooh, I'm going to get a fire engine. Because I wanted one. Because Ward Kimball asked me to drive his 1916 American LaFrance fire engine in a parade once. And forever after, I wanted one. That was 2 years before I went to Disney. Now I had my chance. Okay, we built it, and I drove it down the Santa Ana Freeway and delivered it. And it's been there ever since. And all the drivers that have been assigned to it over the years, they love it so much that about 5 years ago, early in the morning, they threw a birthday party for their fire engine.
I love that.
That's cute.
That car is specially loved. So I'll point out the last thing, why this is important. Do you remember what the last photograph was of Walt in his park before he was gone?
Wasn't it him on the fire engine in front of the castle with Mickey in the other seat?
You bet. You bet. See, there's the circle of life that little fire engine represents.
Every time I'm in Disneyland, I have to go and I try to just ride the Main Street vehicles and specifically the fire engine if I get the chance to. And I love that so much.
It's very special.
Well, Steve, one of our drivers, has been driving that for 44 years.
Yes.
That's his fire engine, yeah.
Yeah, we love him.
Well, and actually, so speaking of park life, we're curious because we see you on social media and you're heading to the parks all the time. You're heading to Disneyland every once in a while. What is like an ideal park day for you? Is there something you have to do? Maybe a favorite Disney snack you have to get while you're there?
Well, now I'm going to get you in trouble.
Oh, really?
Oh, no.
My heart is still in what I call Walt Disney's Disneyland. You get my drift?
Yep.
Yes.
All right. There was a beautiful book written by Chris Nichols that was titled in such a manner that as you read it, it's the most accurate Disneyland book ever. It ends while that park was still Walt Disney's park. Okay. So I'm not very good at being a contemporary Disneyland fan by going to the park almost every day. Some people go every day because they're APs, they just like it. Or going several times a year with family, friends, boyfriends, girlfriends, whatever they like. But they become very competitive. I know more about backstage at Disneyland than you do. Or I visited more places over and over, and I'm counting. They miss the entire point of a family going maybe every couple of years and going to a park that is so fresh in their minds that it's just a golden visit for a whole day to see Disneyland in that kind of a perspective.
Yep.
So I've got my foot in 1955, and I got it in 2025.
Yep.
So I see the park in the two eras as two parks in my mind. So I'm not very good at saying what my famous thing is or famous space or something. But I do know you'll never see me walking around eating a churro, which is very popular,
To each
But
their own, Bob.
you will see me driving. You'll see me driving my little scooter. It's made by a company, and that model is called a GoGo, a GoGo. So I have my little scooter GoGo, and that is as much fun as eating a churro.
I love it.
Yeah.
I love it.
So are you really there to go to the park and people watch and observe and try to find those first time families that really are there to experience the park for the first time?
Yes, I'm when I go to the park now, Ernie and I will spend 8, 9 hours a day. We're doing some filming for Instagram. Obviously, we meet a lot of people because I'm just hopelessly stopped on the street every 5 minutes. And you have to treat the fans nice. You can't just flip somebody off and say, "Well, we're busy. I can't do that." I'll drive the scooter. And especially late in the day, and we're getting ready to leave, and a cute little gal comes up to me. "Oh, Bob, I've been waiting to see you." And that she's running along, and my manager says, "Bob, we're late. We can't stop." And I said, I'm going to stop. She can't be within 10 feet and go away and miss her chance. You do these extra things for the fans because that means they go away with the same kind of feeling of Disneyland that Walt would have given them to begin with. Yeah, that's a very, very important thing that people my age is very, very important that you do that. But back to your original question, I do enjoy watching how people enjoy the park. And I usually tell the people that they're there for the very first time. Their just eyes are just big. They're looking at everything. I can always tell the people that come there, late in the day. They use Disneyland as a meeting place after work, just to hang out. So the park is used for different people for different reasons. They all have things that they really, really like to use Disneyland for. I am the old-fashioned 1955 guest.
I love that. That's fantastic.
Well, that brought the conversation to a halt.
No. I was making sure Megan was still caught up in her stuff. But Megan, I'm kind of thinking maybe we should ask Bob some little quick fire questions real quick then with that same mindset.
Rapid
Are you
fire.
ready for this,
Yeah.
Bob?
Yeah.
Okay. Do you have a favorite park snack?
A park which?
A park snack.
I eat very healthy.
Bengal barbecue?
Okay. That's Megan's go-to is Bengal barbecue with those little chicken skewers over there, or maybe a Disneyland pickle. She's the Disneyland pickle girlie over there too.
Yeah.
Well, by the way, the chicken dinners on the west side of New Orleans Square, that is the best fried chicken ever, or barbecue chicken ever.
Yep. Agreed.
I can attest to that. How in the world you can have perfect chicken meat cooked perfectly, always the same, every day by the tens of thousands, and it's value priced.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Quick service price.
A lot of people don't know, but you go sit under that little yellow and white tent back there in the corner.
Tiana's, yep.
It's really good.
You heard it first, or you heard it here.
Bob's
everybody.
hot take right there.
Bob loves the Tiana's chicken, as do I.
Right?
Yes. Love it.
Now, what about favorite attraction? Do you have a favorite? I know that's like telling you to pick your favorite child, but is there a favorite attraction that you lean towards?
I already told you all about it. The fire
That's
engine.
the fire engine.
True.
Yes.
True.
No, I did know that from your Instagram, Bob. That is your answer every time that is your favorite attraction. That's from my Instagram stalking.
We just had to confirm.
Yeah. Okay. Rather than going on the attractions, I like to watch the overall ambience. I watch how pretty and big the trees have gotten. The flower beds are always manicured nice.
Yes.
A lot of little tiny details in the park. The little stuff that some photographers will dwell on. Oh, tiny little things. There's a lot of people race through the park and forget to go slow and look at everything. The charm at Disneyland is all the art direction and the great care that's there, knowing that a lot of people live a frenetic, stressful life, and they're thinking in terms of, oh my God, I got the app. What are we going to do? We have to have a committee meeting every 10 minutes to decide what we're going to do. Versus the way I do it, I'm just going to ooze along and just enjoy it and not plan. Just
right.
Just walk, just go around. Just yeah.
See, and I try to focus that on my content too, is focus on the little details that people miss here in Disney World. And I love that you have the same mindset too, Bob.
Yeah.
And I guess one more quick fire is with the ambiance. Is there a favorite song, maybe a favorite Disney song, whether it be in the park or an attraction or a movie?
When You Wish Upon a Star.
Oh, great one. That's a good choice.
A classic.
Yeah. Well, the words mean a lot.
Oh yeah.
Today, politically today, it means a lot.
Oh yeah.
Absolutely.
And compared to when it was written.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. So good.
Now, I guess we should move into the true countdown list. So me and Megan, we will share our favorite places later on at the end of this episode. But we want to know yours, Bob. Do you have your top 5 locations within a Disney park ready?
All right. If you listen carefully what I've said so far, my favorites, in no particular order, is the goat farm, because stress relieving when talking to goats. I'm serious.
I love that. No,
I was a goat farmer when I was a kid. I raised goats. The second one is Granny's Cabin's rocking chair. Same thing, 2:00 in the afternoon, my feet are starting to hurt, and I want to have no stress, relaxation from the hustle and bustle of an amusement park. I can go in Granny's Cabin. Some people are going to know exactly what I mean when I say this. Right. Another thing I thought, my office was at Disneyland for 1 year. The Chicken of the Sea ship, I'd sit up on the back of the top of it, having a chicken of the sea sandwich on a cool, beautiful day. But on a hot day, you go down to Skull Rock and sit underneath those old sails from a pirate ship and enjoy another chicken dish on a hot day, looking out at the water and the beauty of the ship.
I love that.
Well, if I go to Main Street, on the right side when you're headed north, it might be next to the Brazier shop, I think, that was up there on opening day. Is the porch on Main Street. You step up a little bit, and there's a bench and a chair. And if you want to sit there and de-stress yourself and watch all the stressed people walking by, you can watch people going into the park excited and worn out coming back out of the park by just sitting there. Any time of day, just whenever you feel like it. That is a super, super favorite spot. Oh, it's still there. Oh my gosh,
it's still
yes.
there. Yep.
It is. And like, if you're able to get like a little snacky snack or like a little coffee, and you just sit there and people watch, that is the vibe. That is the place to be, Bob. I totally agree with you.
Right. I can pop into Starbucks and get some really cool coffee and walk up there and then sit there on the bench and just savor the coffee and savor the people walking by.
Oh yeah.
That's a good one for the people watching.
Well, those are my top 5.
Yay!
I love your list, Bob. I love that you mentioned some like, it's the Chicken of the Sea place, and like as soon as you mentioned that, I was like, oh my goodness, that's such a great little nod right there. That's awesome.
Yeah, think of a restaurant that's not a shop. It's a spectacular sailing ship with sails on the sea. Really, and you can sit on it and eat your chicken sandwich. Yeah, I mean your Chicken of the Sea sandwich.
That's amazing.
Themed dining locations back in the day. So cool. Well, Thank you again so
Thank you,
much, Bob,
Bob.
for being here, for talking with us and telling us such great things. If anything, I feel like this was more of a creative reminder for me and Megan. I think we really needed this at the end of our podcast season, and I think we both really appreciate it. Would you agree, Megan?
Absolutely. And Bob, I'm so sorry. I had so many things that I wanted to talk to you about. I know we have a limited amount of time on this podcast, but thank you so much for the time that you took being here with us. Wish I could just ask a million questions from you, but we really appreciate you chatting with us and giving us a little glimpse into the wonderful and magical history of Disneyland, and of course working with Walt. So thank you. Appreciate your time.
There is something we want to promote and we want to talk about, Bob, is that you kind of mentioned it, your documentary.
Oh, yes. Oh, I forgot to do the commercial.
That's okay. We can do it now though, because it's called Bob Gurr Living by Design, and
Yeah.
that's the name, correct?
Yes.
And
it's 1 hour, 46 minutes. And I agree with it completely. We had a wonderful directors with a lot of Hollywood experience, along with another producer, and they work with Ernie to produce the entire event. I made a strict point of telling the director, I says, I do not want to interfere. Whatever you do, help yourself. I like the style of director. He likes to do little 6-minute films, like something out of Rod Serling or Alfred Hitchcock. And when he showed me what he really likes to do in his own time, I thought, oh, this guy can weave a story, and which he did. So it's very hard to pick anybody's life and make it into a documentary. As soon as you say documentary, oh my gosh, another documentary. What at the 800 people that were in the premiere in Glendale at the classical Alex Theater on the red carpet, there was many scenes where the audience laughed. They roared with laughter. Now, you never laugh at a documentary. So this can't be a documentary unless it was a documentary about Bob Gurr. Well, then, of course you'd laugh. Yes. It's that kind of story. So anyway, Ernie is working with the next steps they're going to do, where they're going to show it. I think it's going to be at the Bowers Museum.
Yes.
Very shortly, and you go to fandom.com on the internet, on YouTube, and you can learn more about that.
Right. So for those that are listening and or are watching, the link to the tickets are going to be in the episode notes or in the caption down here below if you're watching on YouTube right now. And I believe it's Sunday, June 29th at 6 p.m. is the next showing over at the museum there in Santa Ana. And so, yeah, make sure you get your tickets, y'all. We're wanting to give y'all enough time to be able to go and reserve this. So everybody go show up.
Yeah. Okay. All right.
And then, of course, you can follow Bob and his wonderful videos and socials on social media, of course, at Bob Gurr Official.
Yes. All right.
All right. Okay. Well, thanks again so much, Bob.
Bob.
I was looking at flights around that time to get out to California. So I'm like, oh no, maybe I need to just make a sudden pop over there in June just to be able to go to this event. That'd be so cool.
Well, my pleasure. I enjoy sharing the world with what Walt Disney really was like, how he worked with people, how the people responded, and they got a terrific launch in the entire theme park industry all around the world with our little Disneyland down there in Anaheim.
So great. Celebrating its 70th anniversary this year. And I'm so happy that we got to talk to you around the same time and just celebrate all this together.
All right. Okay. Thank you. Until next time.
Till next time.
Thanks
Thank you,
again,
Bob. Wow. That was amazing. Oh my gosh. I'm still very starstruck.
I know, right? Bob had a lot of really great nuggets, and after we finished recording that, I did jump onto a live on TikTok because I was like, I need to word vomit. I just need to get my thoughts out. Maybe I just didn't talk enough because we just let Bob talk.
No,
during
that's cool. I'm glad you did that. Yeah. Okay.
Yes. And so I was on there and I was telling people that we just had Bob on the show. So that could be why we have a lot of new Patreon members hanging out and following us now, because I did talk about it over on the live and just kind of subtly dropped, oh yeah, we just had a casual conversation with Bob Gurr. And as I was saying that, I was like, no, he really dropped some great creative nuggets of him saying, don't be afraid to put something out there and for it to fail. And like, I don't know, maybe I'm really hoping that people are going to listen to this episode that are part of that creative sphere in upper management and kind of be like, no, listen to the guy that worked under Walt. Walt was obviously doing something correct in letting his people have free creativity and reign, and let them make mistakes. Let them make mistakes. Let's get messy. Let's get all Miss Frizzle up in here.
Exactly.
And I think that's why I don't know. I thought that's why I needed to hear is like, don't be afraid to make the mistakes, but also still be true to your creativity and what you're doing.
Right. And the fact that Walt put the idea, just threw out the idea, in people's minds, to each person who might be involved, and they all got talking later on and actually helped to come to fruition. He was the spark of imagination, truly. And then Bob was like, listen, he didn't know really how to like go about some of these things that he was doing, that he was tasked with doing, right? And he learned by doing.
Him just saying, oh yeah, you can learn trigonometry, you just got to get a book. I'm like, sir, no.
Like with all of the ride vehicles and the track of the Matterhorn, he's like, oh, I have to learn trigonometry. Yes, absolutely, while building a huge attraction. That sounds great. Sounds easy, for sure.
Never made a roller coaster in a mountain in the middle of a park? Good luck.
As a bobsled?
What?
As a toboggan? No, it's oh my gosh, I can't even put into words how amazing it was to talk with him, hear from the man himself, how these incredible attractions that we know and love were built, how they were really just created in minds and then actually built. So it's amazing. It was just an incredible experience to talk with him. So thank y'all so much for allowing us to do that and then for listening.
Well, and I really loved his list that he had of his favorite spots.
Yeah.
So Megan, I feel like we need to go ahead and get into our magical locations as well.
Let's do it. Yes. We have our top 5 favorite spots in the park. All right.
Do you want to recap or do you want me to recap first?
I have no idea who. I believe
you
might have gone first last time.
Okay,
I think
that is correct.
Okay, would you like me to recap and get it to my number 5?
Yes, please.
Okay, let's do that. All right. So my number 10 from last episode was the Savannah at the Animal Kingdom Lodge. Number 9, the top of the Adventureland Treehouse in Disneyland. 8 was the Japanese Garden and the Japan Pavilion in Epcot. 7 was Paradise Park. I got the name right. I actually physically went and I looked at the sign. It's Paradise Park, which is the spot where you get all the content in Disney's California Adventure. It's Paradise Park, not Paradise Plaza. Number 6 was the Submarine Lagoon at night. Don't like the ride, love the lagoon. And which leads into my number 5, also in Disneyland. Well, you know what? No. It's in 2 parks. It is going to be the Millennium Falcon area in Galaxy's Edge.
Okay.
Yeah. I had to include something Star Wars. I love Star Wars so much, and I am a light side girly, so I just love this area. Grabbing the Black Calf Cold Brew, walking down, getting some pictures if you need to. When the light hits it really nicely, like at sunset, and it has, there's some light on the spires. You get some good lighting for pictures or videos. And Chewie walks through there a lot, so does Rey. So, and even the stormtroopers make their way over there sometimes too.
Oh.
Which is fun. So yeah, I had to include my Galaxy's Edge, and that is my favorite spot in there. So.
I love that, because then it's like, oh, the golden hour happens on top of the Millennium Falcon. You're just like, that's a beautiful piece of junk.
Right. What a great looking hunk of junk. Yeah.
Right. All right. I like that one. I'm glad you mentioned it.
Thank you.
Because I do love Batu, and I should have probably mentioned a spot over there. But my mind immediately went to the droid bathrooms. That's all I could think of, because I'm like,
hey,
those are the
you know
bathrooms
what?
that are always clean.
They're good bathrooms. Yeah.
And the AC works. The AC works.
True.
Oh, goodness. Anyway. Number 10 for me was the Liberty Square gazebo behind Ye Old Christmas Shop here in Disney World. Number 9 was Tom Sawyer Island, specifically the Aunt Polly patio area. Number 8 is the Magic Kingdom side street or alley right off to the right as you're heading down towards the castle. Number 7 was the Boardwalk Resort in the Inner Gardens area right there. A lot of you don't know what I'm talking about, but if you had to, go back to the last episode and I can give you more details of the specific area I'm talking about. And then number 6 for me was the walkway off to the side of Epcot underneath the monorail beam, because that's the best photo spot.
Did you say you're 7? You said 7,
my
right?
7 was the boardwalk one.
Oh, you had Japan Pavilion too in your list, didn't you? Or is that later on?
I said it was going to be mentioned in my list.
Oh, I thought it was your
but
number
it
7.
hadn't made an appearance yet.
Oh, okay.
I'm pretty sure.
I'm
unless
like, I totally thought it was
unless
your...
this was me panicking and I moved stuff around. Did I do that? I don't think so.
Okay, you did say it was going to be okay.
Because on my list, yeah, I was correct.
You're right. You're
because
right. Okay.
But I did mention, like, yes, the Japan Gardens is in my list. And spoiler alert, it's number 5.
I was gonna say, oh. Sorry, I ruined it. I messed it up. No. First I have internet and audio issues with Bob's interview, and now I'm spoiling things.
No, it's
okay.
No. You were just reading my mind with the telepathic powers. That's all it was.
I'm sorry. Okay. That's my sick brain just being...
That's okay. It's okay.
In my memory. Sorry, everybody. Okay, but yeah, Japan Pavilion at Japanese Garden. Woo!
Y'all, this location at night, and like there's a little bit of a breeze going up there. You get your chicken teriyaki meal, and you go sit down and you just enjoy the vibes, and the music's playing, unless there's something going on over at the stage over at the America Pavilion, and then you hear that too. And, yeah, the vibes are immaculate up there.
They are. It's a great spot to watch the fireworks too. At least for me, I love watching Luminous from over there. Yeah.
Right. Now, y'all, again, I want to preface this before we get any further into our list. We are telling you these locations because we appreciate you as the podcast family. Don't go and ruin these locations for us, is all I'm saying. I should have prefaced that in the last episode.
Don't make it too crowded.
Don't make it too crowded. Don't let all the non-podcast people know about this. This is just between us. We got this.
Yeah. No, it's I feel like a lot of mine are not going to be super, not like the gatekeeping secret spots, but it's all for the vibes.
Gatekeep a little bit. We'll tell y'all. And actually, there's one in here that I'm like, I usually gatekeep this spot, but I'll tell y'all here later on in my countdown. So
okay, all right. Well, let's see, number 4. Number 4 for me is gonna be Grizzly Peak, and it's gonna be specifically like the backside of Grizzly Peak that no one really walks through, but you can walk through it. So it's the bridge that is. When you turn left, but right before you hit the entrance to Grizzly River Run, there's a bridge there, and you could keep walking, and it's behind and underneath the attraction, and it's usually extremely empty because it's just not a typical way that you would go to get. You could take it all the way around and get to Pixar Pier that way, but not a lot of people do that because the main pathway is obviously going by Redwood Creek. So
yeah, I get distracted by the big owl statue over there, and I'm like, nope, that's the way we're going.
Exactly, and Big Owl would actually, if you went in that direction, would take you to where I'm talking about. But it's just kind of nice, and it's not necessarily quiet because there's a lot of water running in the area, but it's someplace that is relatively empty, and especially on a hot day, there's a little bit of like mist coming out and water from the ride. You could stand down there and actually, I think, get wet when on the last drop that the raft comes down. But yeah, it's just a nice little usually not crowded spot in the parks.
Okay.
That also is like it's not super narrow. It's a wide open space that you could walk through. So I just like having that little spot in DC. And not to mention Redwood Creek is part of Grizzly Peak, and I do think that is a fun area, especially for the kiddos. If parents need a break, that's where our parents would take us when they needed just a little break and let us run around. So
get your energy out, kids. Go climb something.
Go. Yeah. So I like the whole area a lot, but yeah, Grizzly's fun.
Oh, fabulous. Okay.
How about you? Number 4.
Number 4 for me is actually over there also in DCA. And I don't know why I picked this spot, but I just have, whenever I think of DCA, which is more so than Cars Land, which is shocking. I really had to debate on this one because Cars Land is right up there for just overall vibes. But I couldn't just pick an overall land. I wanted to pick a specific spot. And it is Pixar Pier, kind of in 2 locations, just Jesse's Critter Carousel at night in general.
Oh yeah,
Jesse's Critter Carousel. But when the park is like being closed out, everybody's leaving, the last World of Color has happened, you stay for the last World of Color, you're still in the park, there's only a handful of people that are leaving out from under the Pixar signage right there. And if you can set up your phone properly or have another person with you, you can get some amazing shots at night in front of the signage. And I remember being there in 2021, in January 2021, and they were clearing out the park. So like the security guards are walking the walkway down, and they got in a photo with me, and they photobombed a couple with me, and it was great.
That's cute. That is such a good point. And I always forget that, like, yes, you can get good photos in that spot if you have everything set up right.
Right.
Because definitely, like, I don't know if you were there, not when it gets dark, but right at sunset, the lights have turned on so you can see them. But it's not quite dark yet. You can get some real good photos over there.
Right. Your phone's not in complete night mode just yet. It's like enough light that it can grab it, and it's nice.
I love that. That's a good one. Nice. I'm glad you included Pixar Pier.
Yeah.
Fabulous.
I'll give a little shout out to them.
Yeah, we do love her. All right. So my number 3, and actually who just mentioned it, it is, okay. So I have 2 because I just put Cars Land on my list, right? So it's Cars Land, but it's 2 particular spots at Cars Land, and they're going to be specific times a day too. So my first one is literally just the top of Cars Land, like at the very beginning, at night and after the rain. So when that all comes together, oh my God, Cars Land looks just like the best thing you've ever seen in your life. Because all the lights reflect off of the ground, so it's like you're looking at a mirrored image, and it's the vibes are just immaculate with all the lights down Radiator Springs and the mountains in the back, right? So there's that, and then there's, of course, I have to include my Shaboom and Life Could Be a Dream at sunset, and I'm talking about the original one, so the main one. And that, of course, the time varies throughout the year because sunset is always at a different time. But yeah, so down that way, right before, I guess it's on the diagonal of Flows, right outside of the, oh my gosh, that one souvenir shop that I can't remember the name. And it is next to Ramone's, correct, yes. And Luigi's, right in that center, where the stoplight is. That's the third blink is longer. Yeah, that would be my other spot of Cars Land.
Oh, so I do love. I think now that everybody knows about Shaboom, I just like seeing everybody show up and get so excited, and then the cast members now they have their flags and they'll dance around.
Yes, they do the circle, kind of like the Cars conga line. It's fantastic. The vibes are some of the best you'll ever see at the Disneyland Resort, in my opinion. At that time,
oh yeah,
it's so fun.
Aww,
yeah, that's
I love that you mentioned Cars Land after I mentioned Pixar Pier, because then it's like, okay, no, that's my honorable mention. I'm not tagging on to Megan's list also.
Right. I know. No, we had 3 DCAs in a row. That's pretty great.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, I'm actually going to jump over.
Are you breaking the curse? Okay.
I'm gonna break out a little bit, and my number 3 is going to be, okay, this is gonna be very niche. This is gonna be the Contemporary Resort on the 2nd floor. So Contemporary's broke. The floors are weird, y'all. It is so, so weird. So the first floor is where the lobby is, where you come in, ground level, everything's down there. The second floor is technically the entrance to California Grill and also the convention center. That's where the Ballroom of the Americas is. That's where all that is. And when there's not a convention going on, I got to preface it with that. When there's not a convention going on, that whole floor right there has multiple couch seating areas all the way down the hotel wing, honestly. And we actually did that when the family was in town. We had to take a break from Magic Kingdom and we hopped on the monorail. We needed to just get out of the heat into the AC, and we ran over to Contemporary Resort and popped a squat and made a little spot for us, and baby took a nap over there in the AC, and mom's like, this is what we did with you back in the 90s. And I was just like, oh, Mom, it's coming around full circle. So that's my secret napping spot. If you need a break from Magic Kingdom, take the monorail over to the Contemporary, get your snack, get your lunch over there if you want to, and take a quick little rest over at the couch area if there's not a convention going on.
Love that. I need to check that out next time.
And just make sure you don't get a couch that smells weird. I had a couch that smelled weird.
Don't when you smell something strange, go to a different couch.
Exactly.
That's funny. Okay. Good. I'll have to see that
I love
next
how
time.
Matterhorn Megan just said in the chat. She's like, Danielle says, this is going to be very niche. Everyone else is like, oh, big surprise.
Surprise, surprise. That's
Y'all
great.
know me too well on this podcast.
Oh, love it. Love it. Okay, number 2, getting down to it here. Number 2 for me is going to be a little more on the personal side. That is going to be our family brick in the Esplanade of the Disneyland Resort. So yes, my family does have a brick that my mom purchased right before the 50th anniversary of Disneyland. Aww. And it sits there. It has our family name on it and the year, which is 2005. So, and it is a place that when my family went a lot, it was a place that we would always meet other like groups or something. It was always our meeting spot. And I'm not going to say exactly where it is because due to like reasons, because when someone put that out there, actually our friend Liz, her medallion was stolen.
Yes.
So I'm trying not to, I wouldn't exactly say where it is, but she is relatively in the center of the Esplanade. So that's kind of cool. But yeah, it's just a very special thing that we like kind of own a tiny portion of the Disneyland Resort. And they're still there. And I hope, fingers crossed, knock on wood, that they never get rid of them. So yeah, that's my number 2. We have tons of pictures with it and stuff. Yeah, it's fun.
Aww, that's so sweet.
Yep, the Hennigan family. Even though that's not technically my last name anymore, it's still part of me.
It's still the fam.
It's still the fam. Yeah.
All right. Well, my number 2 location is going to be where I watch fireworks at, and y'all don't ruin this for me. Or I don't know. Actually, Disney might ruin this for me. I don't know. So currently, over at Magic Kingdom, my spot to watch fireworks is over in Frontierland. And no, it's not the bridge. Everybody else goes to the bridge. We don't go to the bridge.
Mine was the bridge. Okay.
Oh, sorry, babe. No,
fine.
I have a better spot. Let me paint you a picture, right?
Okay.
So when you are in that in-between zone between walking out of Liberty Square and Frontierland's in front of you, the pin trading store is right there, and then Golden Horse or Diamond Horseshoe is right there.
Yeah.
There is the side entrance to the walkway.
Yeah.
And there is a speaker right there. That speaker is for the fireworks, and it pipes in directly over top in between the lands.
I know exactly where this is.
We've watched fireworks there.
This is the spot that I was thinking of too. Yeah. Not necessarily the bridge that's more to your left. No, it's that
everybody heads over to the bridge over in front of Tiana's.
No. It's the one where the boat is docked sometimes, and you can see it right there. Yeah.
So the Liberty Bell currently is right there. She's all lit up at night. She reflects off the water, and then it lines up with the Haunted Mansion, and the fireworks literally launch immediately behind it.
Right behind it. Yeah. I've watched Happily Ever After from here. Yes. Mm-hmm.
Yes. Mm-hmm. And so nobody's standing over there. You have your own private speaker, and if there were other people in the area, you could just move a little bit, and you have your own dancing zone if you really wanted to.
Yeah.
And it's immaculate. You get great photos with the fireworks in the background, with the Liberty Bell right there. So y'all need to go and enjoy this spot while it's still there, because once Rivers of America go away or Liberty Bell goes away, I don't know what I'm gonna do.
Right.
I'm gonna riot probably and throw things. I don't know what or where, but I'm going to.
Right. I literally, Danielle is so funny that, oh my God, okay.
I'm pretty sure, didn't we?
I posted about this.
We were both together when we saw this.
Were we together?
Were we?
At Magic
Or did
Kingdom?
I tell you about it and then you investigated it afterwards?
I know, right? Like I just went over there by myself. Oh my God, I really want to find, I took photos here. And I can't remember which trip this was. Well, apparently it was not what I'm thinking of. Dang it. Okay. I'll find it. Anyway, I know exactly what you're talking about. And yes, that is my favorite spot to watch fireworks as well in Magic Kingdom. Well, that is hilarious that you say that one, because hello, we are down to number 1. Thank you guys so much for being here this entire season. Thank you for listening. Season 5 is wrapping up, and don't worry, y'all, we're back for season 6 in just a few weeks. We have another bonus episode for this coming out in just a few days. And yeah, we just really appreciate y'all being here. So thank you. But my number 1 is going to be over in Disneyland, and it's literally that exact same spot, but in Disneyland. So that would be New Orleans Square at night, facing the Mark Twain and Big Thunder. And yes, you can absolutely watch the fireworks from here as well, but it's honestly just this vibe at night, and that's it. There's nothing special. It doesn't be anything special. The water, when it's very still, is literally an exact mirror image of what's on top, and that's the Mark Twain all lit up and Big Thunder all lit up, and it is just it's the vibe. It's just so good. And I say it every single time we walk by at night if I'm with a group of people and we like look back, and I'm like, that is my favorite view right there of Disneyland. And it's, you know, it is a little specific, but at the same time, I've taken so many pictures of this at night. It's like a lot of repeats in my camera roll, but I just love it. And just sitting there and like looking at it for a second it'll bring you some joy. Definitely gets you some, you know, some good old happiness for the end of your night. So yeah. That's my number 1.
That's a good one.
Thanks. Thank you.
Mine, okay, I had to put this because of everything going on. Nobody should be surprised by this, but number 1 for me is currently Muppet Courtyard at night.
Yay!
And I think, so I had to mention it because it is going away. I don't know how many nights we're still going to have left at Muppet Courtyard, and I can't overthink about it right now. And because I think, I don't know, on the last day, are they just going to wall off the entire courtyard? And then
it's so sad to think about the whole thing.
Exactly. So I need to go ahead and preface this and say, yes, this is my number 1. And then once Muppet Courtyard goes away, then the entire list shifts down 1, if that makes sense.
Yeah. No.
But yes, going into Muppet Courtyard, seeing the pizza, the rat pizza neon all lit up at night, and you see Miss Piggy glowing there in her water Statue of Liberty costume as the water's flowing, and just the overall vibes of Muppet Courtyard at night after everything closes, because the show does close at 8:00 before park officially closes, and usually everybody just clears out of that area. You can still walk around in that area, but just to sit there and just take in the Muppet vibes is what I love so much.
Nice. That is a fantastic choice and a great way to close out season 5. It's very, very on brand for Dapper Danielle, and I love that.
Right.
And right before it officially closes, which is so sad.
I know. So you'll be seeing some really obnoxious photos. I'll be doing even more videos here later on this week into next week. And you'll be getting all of the last minute Muppet content. Don't you worry.
Can't wait. Can't wait. Well, thank you guys. That is a wrap for season 5. We are so insanely grateful to, first of all, just be doing this show at all, but to have been here for so many seasons. And of course, we are so excited to be back for season 6 in just a few weeks after a quick break. But thank you for listening. And until we see you next time, have a very magical day.
And night night, sleep tight, dream of churros tonight.
Oh, then we finished the season!
How exciting! Oh, I'm emotional. Muppets, the surprise message. I need a break just from the emotions
End of
of feeling.
season 5.
I'm done.
Hey everybody, producer Danny jumping in real quick. Thank you so much for supporting Disney Countdown all season long. We appreciate you all so much. If you are looking for some countdowns and some magic and merriment in your life between season 5 and 6 of Disney Countdown, make sure you check out our other show, Christmas Countdown Show, hosted by actor Eric Peterson, who you know and love from Kevin Kneff himself on AMC, star of Shrek on Broadway, all the things, and then myself and producer Chris is there as well. We have a very special Dasher Day episode, which is the halfway point to Christmas 2025, coming up on June 25th. So go subscribe to Christmas Countdown Show wherever you get your podcasts. It'll also be here on the YouTube channel as well. And we'll be bringing the merriment and magic your way very soon. Until next time, though, as the ladies say, have a very magical day and night, sleep tight, dream of churros tonight. Did I nail that?
It's all right.
Okay.
To have your name at the end of our new episodes and to receive a bunch of magical perks, please check out our Patreon via the link in the episode notes.
Or visit patreon.com/Disney Countdown Show. We'll see you there.